Hare Krishna, welcome to chapter 6 of Srila Maharaj's book, Sri Guru and His Grace. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militam Jina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Divya Jnana Pradayane Srimate Paramaveti Swaminya Rupine Sharanagata Bhakti Biyo Shoda Bhakti Vidayane Vishoda Bhakti Siddhanta Raranishe Vine Srila Guru Maharaj Ki Jai, Srila Maharaj Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Guru Parampara Ki Jai, Shri Guru and His Grace Ki Jai. Chapter 6. I command you, become Guru. It is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 31st chapter, verse 9. Tava katamritam tapta jivanam kavibir ijitam kalmasapaham Shravanam Mangalam Srimad Atatam Bhuvi Grinanti Nye Burida Janaha. O Krishna, the nectar of your words and the narrations of your pastimes give life to us, who are always suffering in this material world. This nectar is broadcast all over the world by great souls, and it removes all sinful reactions. It is all auspicious and filled with spiritual power. Those who spread this message of Godhead are certainly doing the greatest relief work for human society and are the most magnanimous welfare workers. This is what is necessary, and this is what is universal. Everyone can be satisfied to the highest degree in their hearts only by the nectar of Krishna's words and the nectarine descriptions of his activities. This is because Krishna is Raso Vaisa, the reservoir of all pleasure, and Akhila Rasamrita Murti, ecstasy himself. Krishna's very nature is sweet. Maduram Maduram Vapur Asya Vibor, Maduram Maduram Vadanam Maduram, Madhu Gandhi Mridus Mitam Edhat Aho, Maduram 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 Maduram. O Lord Krishna, the beauty of your transcendental form is sweet, but your beautiful face is even sweeter. The sweet smile on your face, which is like the sweet aroma of honey, is sweeter still. I am being nectarized. This verse is found in Bilva Mangala Thakur's Krishna Karnamrita, 92. He says, sweet, 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 sweetness. Krishna is sweetness personified. At my first sight, I thought Krishna was Cupid, who can capture everyone. But then I saw, no, this is not like lust personified, which can be experienced only in the material world. This is Chinmaya, spiritual substance. I see that this sweetness is spiritual in characteristic. I feel it. It is the very gist of all sweetness. What is this? My eyesight is being nectarized. I'm experiencing nectar pouring on my eyes. O Krishna has already conquered my heart. I am captured. I am captivated by sweetness personified. Marasvayam nu madura duyuti mandalam nu madhuryam eva nu mano nayanam ritam nu venim rijo nu nama jivita valabo nu Krishno yam abhyudayate mama lochanaya. My dear friends, where is Krishna, who is Cupid personified, brilliant as a Kadamba flower? Where is Krishna, sweetness himself, the sweetest nectar for my eyes and mind? Where is Krishna, who loosens the hair of the gopis? He is the supreme source of divine bliss. He is my life and soul. He has come before my eyes again. Has he come before my eyes again? This is Bilva Mangala Thakur's statement. Whatever type of sorrow or affliction there may be, all different layers of painfulness will be removed. The nectar of the worlds and pastimes of Krishna gives us life. It gives us hope that we can live a higher life, that we were not created only to suffer in this mortal world, but to live a life which can soar up and transcend this painful life of mortality. We have that sort of life of vitality in our own intrinsic form. The speculationists say that Krishna consciousness only does away with all the sinfulness, but theirs is only an external acquaintance with Krishna consciousness. Sin is nothing in comparison with his purifying capacity. As soon as we come in contact with Krishna, even in the form of mere sound through the ear, our real welfare begins to awaken. Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. Krishna consciousness is infinitely surcharged with all the resources of our welfare. And those who can distribute Krishna consciousness to the world are really benevolent and kind-hearted. They give the most who give Krishna to those who are helpless and disappointed. Only this sort of transaction should be continued in the world to save these souls suffering from the disease of mortal connection. Divine nectar. The descriptions about Krishna are like divine nectar. So, go on with this transaction, always giving Krishna consciousness, and if you give Krishna consciousness, you will have an ample supply of Krishna consciousness. That will descend from the higher position. If you are sincere to distribute Krishna consciousness, you will have no want in your own capital. New capital will be supplied to you as much as you can give it to others. It will have connection with the infinite source. So, go on. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Yara deka tara kaha Krishna upadesha, amara agyaya guru hana tara edesha. Whomever you find, talk with him only about Krishna. We have no other engagement. Whomever you find, any soul you come across, try to save him from this desert of mortality. I command you, don't be afraid. Take the position of Guru, the giver, and give it to everyone. Then Mahaprabhu says, Kabunavadiba tomara vishaya taranga, punarapi etani pabemora sanga. And in this transaction you will find my backing. If you obey my command for distribution to one and all, then you will find that I am there, backing you in this work. So, your great master has engaged you all like so many dedicated soldiers. Now you must do relief work in this world of mortality and death. Do relief work. Somehow we have to get Krishna consciousness for ourselves and also carry this news to our neighbors. Mahaprabhu says, whomever you meet, tell him about Krishna, and in this way, save the people. They are all under the influence of eternal mortality. Only this path is relevant to their condition. All other talks are irrelevant. Now it gets tough. The jaws of death. Everyone is rushing into the jaws of death. This is the sum total of the news of this world. It is the only news. Every second, everyone is entering the jaws of death. This is the real problem, nothing else. The whole problem, if summarized, will come to this, that every second, every atom here is entering into the jaws of death. This is the great and only danger in the world. So, all other talks are irrelevant to the real problems of life. Try to help them from entering into the jaws of death. This is the only problem in the whole world. Go forth and tell everyone about Krishna. Whatever you do, make them talk about Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Save yourself and prepare yourself for the highest goal. Whenever you meet anyone, wherever you meet anyone, only talk of Krishna. All other talks are irrelevant and redundant. Mahaprabhu says, it is my command. Don't think that if you do this and take the position of Guru, when the people come to honor you, you will forget your own ordinary position and become puffed up with pride and go to hell. No, no, no. I order you. Go on. The relief work is there. You can't stand idle as an onlooker. So I say, jump, start relief work. I order you to do so, and I shall take whatever responsibility is there. The whole world is dying, so always at every second the real need is Krishna Katha. You will get my association only by obeying my orders and discharging the duty that I am entrusting you with you. You will find me there in your obedience of my order and the discharge of the duty I impose on you. Is it reasonable or not? Every one of us can judge. What will be the relief work to save those in the mortal world? What will give real help to the people? Not clothing them or feeding them, nothing of the kind. Everyone is dropping down dead. Once, when I was in the Madras Mart, someone came and criticized us, saying, "Oh, you are only talking about Krishna and people are dying without food. Don't you mind?" I said, "No." He told me, "The Ramakrishna mission is doing real relief by feeding so many. If a man dies of starvation, how will he hear you? Where will you get a listener if he dies? First make them live, feed them, and then you can tell them about Krishna." I told him, "Suppose there's a famine. I have some food. I am distributing that to so many people. There is a great crowd before me. If, while I'm distributing food, someone from the crowd flees, what should I do? Should I distribute the food or run to catch him?" He said, "You must distribute the food, that is natural." I said, "The crowd is always ready to hear from me about Krishna. Why should I waste my time running after one man? So many people are coming to hear from me about Krishna, and I cannot attend them all. Why should I stop distributing of the nectar and run to catch one man? This is a foolish attempt." We are interested in helping people by distributing Krishna Katha, and we pay no attention to any so-called danger. All are in need of this guidance. You must only engage yourself in Krishna Katha. Go on talking about Krishna and continue with that vibration. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going from Puri to Vrindavan through the jungle path, the elephants, deer, and tigers were all chanting Krishna, Krishna and dancing. How? His Krishna Katha created such a fine vibration that it entered into the ears of the tiger, deer, and elephants and awakened their hearts. And they began to chant Krishna, Krishna, Krishna and dance. Mahaprabhu's vibration of Krishna's name was so fine and surcharged with the force that the sound entered within the animals and aroused in their hearts the innermost plane, which was covered by the elephant's or tiger's body. Just like electricity, the finest current of the whole name of Krishna entered into the hearts of all the animals and their souls were aroused. And when their souls were awakened, then they began to chant Krishna, Krishna. Everywhere the environment is full of animation, and just as a ray of light penetrates the darkness, in a similar way, the vibration of Krishna Katha will strike a chord within the soul and create some inspiration there towards Krishna consciousness. So, continue preaching Krishna consciousness. We have no other duty, no other work. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada went the length and breadth of the world with Krishna consciousness. The fact that you have all come here is due to his earnestness. He has gone to the upper world, and so in his name we are going on with some sort of transaction. This is the end of the 6th chapter. Yeah, Srila Maharaj is talking here about our real problem and about the solution, the real solution. He's bringing it to the point that we are all entering the jaws of death, meaning, as it says in the Bhagavad Gita, everyone who is born must die, and everyone who died must be born again. So, since we were born here in this material world, we have to die one day, and therefore we need to ask ourselves, what is the solution for death? There are so many solutions for so many problems, but what is the solution for death? And Srila tells us about giving Krishna consciousness to others. And, or better said, it's Krishna consciousness itself which is the solution to everything. Because Krishna consciousness, if we develop Krishna consciousness, then we are automatically connected to this higher world, which is made of Krishna consciousness, where we want to go actually. And how can we accumulate Krishna consciousness? How can we develop it? He says, by distributing. So he takes the big statement of Mahaprabhu, I command you, become guru. That doesn't mean necessarily that you immediately have to initiate, but that being guru or doing the service of a guru means, or starts, and is always centered around telling others about Krishna. This is the main thing of guru. Telling others about Krishna and about how they can develop their Krishna consciousness, how they can really start a tangible spiritual path, which is real, which has a higher reality than material life, which in the end will just be finished. When the death comes, we will forget everything. We will have to start over again from almost zero. And who knows if we get a human body? It's not guaranteed. It depends all on what we do, on what we do in our life, what karma will await us. So this human form of life is so extremely valuable that we just have to use it for Krishna consciousness. There's no other use of this life. No? Srila Prabhupada was very blunt when he says, we are living in a society of animals. Now we are living an animal style of life. And it sounds like, when I first heard it, it sounded a bit fanatic. No? But actually, when you have a look at it, what do animals do? No? Eating, sleeping, mating, and so forth. Their life is centered around maintaining the body and reproduction. So, and of course, some kind of sense enjoyment. Animals do also enjoy the senses. No? But as we are humans and have some intelligence, of course, we can bring our sense enjoyment to another level. But in the end, the whole society we live in is centered around sense enjoyment, around exploitation, and around sleeping, eating, mating, and so forth. The necessities of the body. So, but there's something special about the human form of life, and this is the possibility to actively, constantly engage in a spiritual process, to actively, constantly do seva, do devotional service. And when we do this, we will do something which goes beyond the physical plane, which goes beyond the necessity of our body. And we do something which is connected to our eternal reality, to our true self. And if we tell others about it, about that this possibility, that this nectar, as Srila described it here, as he quoted from Bilva Mangala Thakur's Krishna Karnamrita, then we can understand, or we can accept at least, that there is something which is so beautiful, so attractive for the heart, that once we get in real contact, in direct contact, once we are sufficiently purified, it will become irresistible for us. We will not be able to do anything else. So, and if something like this exists, then we shouldn't waste the time. We shouldn't waste 1 second and do this. And try to center our life around Krishna consciousness. around distributing Krishna consciousness, helping others to do so. There are so many ways to do this, actually, to distribute. It's not only the classical way, as you might think, that giving a class to others, instructing others, do this, do that. This is one way. The other way is to really, for example, as a householder, have a spiritual family, raise children in Krishna consciousness. It's something very, very beautiful, and something which gives the real substance from the beginning of the life to the children. And they will have something for the rest of their lives. When they grow up in Krishna consciousness, they will really have the choice in their life. What do they want? Do they want the spiritual path, or do they want to go somewhere else? But to know your choice, you must know what to choose from. So knowing Krishna consciousness from the small age, from a very young age, is very, very helpful. So this is also a very intense form of preaching, actually, because you as a parent always have to give an example to your children, and the children will also show you who you are. They have a very special capacity to show us our weaknesses. But this is the way where we can grow also. So a spiritual family, is a very sophisticated arrangement of Krishna. Very sophisticated to actually do something, to actually spread Krishna consciousness, to actually talk about Krishna and develop spiritually. And if one can also expand it to other souls which are not like your own blood, then it's even better. It's even more widespread, more beneficial to more people. So whatever we do, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, whatever you do, whatever you sacrifice, do it for me, and then it will be sanctified. Then it will not just be karma. So this is the actual formula. No? When we do this for Krishna, then Krishna will give us more opportunity to do something for him, and to connect more intensely. So this was the 6th chapter of Srila Maharaj, Sri Guru and His Grace, which also shows us here that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the origin of all grace we received through Sri Guru, because he says, do this relief work, and I will be there. I will be your backing, meaning I will be behind you and give you all the energy and all the knowledge and all the tools you need to do this. All that I will give you. So don't fear, just go on and do this, and I will be there. This is what Mahaprabhu says, and this is actually our real hope, that there's an infinite source of mercy, an infinite source of grace, which can come and help us at any point in our life. Whenever we decide, yes, I want to do one step more, I want to go further with my spiritual life, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will be there. And that means that everything is available at all times. It just depends on us. Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai, Srila Sridhara Maharaj ki jai, Sri Guru and His Grace ki jai.
Sure.
Any thoughts, comments, questions?
It just appeared in my mind. I have a daily kid. She's coming since a year to our house. And she saw once or twice Rama singing on the harmonium. And now, nearly daily, she's going to the harmonium, sits there, and she sings Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And this is so amazing how it has an impact on her.
Yes, definitely. Very beautiful.
And she's just, now she turned 3 years old, so it started when she was 2 or 2.5 years.
Ah, yeah, nice. In this age, the heart is very pure still. There's not so much
Mhm.
confusion. This is very direct. It's very beautiful. Yes.
And then our kids are always correcting her because she says Krishna, and then Nitai says, no, it's Krishna.
Preaching at the early age. Yeah, nice. Your kids might become great preachers.
Maybe, I hope so.
They show their nature at an early age.
Yeah. I saw an interview of the Gurukul in Mayapur, the Ishkon Gurukul. It looks really inviting, but I think it's a too big step for us.
Yeah. Yeah. But where is this Gurukul?
In Mayapur, in
Ah,
India.
this is far away.
Yeah.
Too far away.
But I was surprised because they also teach them Kung Fu and some other martial arts.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have a look at it, but well, Kung Fu at least is healthy.
Yeah. And yeah, I think it's good because for boys, they have a lot of energy, so they need to maybe release that in a certain way.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, preaching is a really big topic. No, it's not only. I mean, Krishna Katha is always the center of everything, but there are many, many different ways to actually connect people to Krishna Katha. And
Yeah, for me, it's just difficult if you meet someone you don't know, and if they don't show interest, how to start preaching or how to say something.
that's individual. I myself, I, I, I just start talking with the person and try to find out what is his interest. And if I find something where he is interest, and for example, if the person is interested in the environmental protection, many people are actually. And a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of stuff to, for example, about the projects in India like Vrindavan Act Now, or the United Nations of the Spirit, and or World Conscious Pact. This is really for me one big connection point where I can connect many people, or where I can at least find out how far I can go with this. And if I'm very far, then at least I can make some interest for this project, and the rest will come by time.
Yeah.
I mean, if I look back to my own spiritual life, I also took some time for me to actually consciously connect with the devotees, to start chanting and practicing spiritual life. It took some time, some years after first meeting the devotees first time. So we cannot expect that we meet someone and then immediately he puts on a tilak and starts chanting Hare Krishna. This would be a miracle. Even greater miracle than it is already that if someone becomes a devotee. But yeah, making some friendly connection, showing some interesting projects where someone might start to take interest. And there are so many things. That's why Guru Maharaj gave us so many things, so many different projects there. Then we have a possibility to connect the people. Starting with yoga, the spoon revolution, Veda therapy, House of Wisdom, and the United Nations of the Spirit, World Conscious Pact, and so forth. There are so many projects. All the conscious arts. Everyone who's artist can connect to conscious art. An art which goes deep into the questions of life, into spiritual questions, maybe even. Yeah, there are many ways to talk to people about this. It may not be always, or may even only in few cases, direct talking about Krishna, especially in the beginning. I observed Guru Maharaj when he was talking to people who met him the first time and who didn't really know anything about spiritual life. he didn't immediately start preaching, you must take up the japa and chant your 16, something like this, ever. You just have some talk with them to find out who is this person interested in his life, what is this person doing, and then finding some way to actually connect this person to connect the interest of this person to something spiritual, to some project we have. Or for example, one guy who comes sometimes here to the program because his girlfriend and now wife is devotee. He's a physics, and he studied physics, and so Guru Maharaj was talking about him about some idea to use the power of bulls to create electricity, to make some project like this. For example, in India, no? There are many cows, no? But usually you only need the cows, the female cows, to produce milk and dung and so forth. The male cows, well, few you will use for the agriculture, but there are more male cows, so what to do with them? And one thing could be to make some kind of local construction where the bulls go around circles and they drive a dynamo and make some electricity for the village, something. So then I see that even some ideas which at first glance might be a little far-fetched, but in the end there could be something, no? There could be a way to connect. And since this is also green energy, no? Or more green than anything else, then this would be also if this turns out to be technically possible, would be also something real, some real project. No? So this is what I saw with Guru Maharaj. He always tries to connect people through their interest, what they're already interested in, so that they can see that Krishna consciousness is not just something which is completely disconnected from this world, but Krishna consciousness can and should expand into all parts of society. And if it expands into all parts of society, it will touch everyone in some way or other. And if someone doesn't want to hear anything, then at least he can eat some prasadam. It's always possible.
Yeah, Rama had a conversation with our landlord.
Okay.
And he was approaching him, in which God are we believing?
Okay.
And why are we not eating meat? And why we don't have a television? He was a little bit shocked about all that.
A cultural shock. The smaller the village, the bigger the shock.
Yeah, it's a small village here.
Yeah, that's the point. But anyway, he will survive, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, who knows what will come out of it. So there are many ways to spread or to give a Krishna connection to someone, many ways. And if it is only prasadam can do wonders. And in my personal case, it was the regular spiritual pizza Wednesday in the Berlin temple, which we go regularly there. So it was pizza prasadam. Yeah. So Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Maharaj ki jai. Gaura Premanande, Vanchakalpatarurvasya, Sindhuvaiva Chapatitanam Tavaniyo Vaishnaveyo Namo. Haribol.
Haribol.